So I returned to Alaska for surgery on my right ACL. Got to stay with my sister again. Thank you, sis. And on June 5th, 2019, I had the right knee done. And everybody up there kept saying, "Oh, you know what to do. You did well with the left one, and you know what you got to do." And I'm like, "No, no, I don't. Now I've kind of got two to worry about." And when I returned to Connecticut, where I was working at the time, I was getting ready to move. The job was over there, and I was going to move. So I didn't have Coach Ronai, I didn't have Coach Mike, and I was kind of worried about that. So I left Connecticut and I moved up near Lake George, New York, where I'm from, and I had a local physical therapist there. He was great, but it was not Coach Ronay level stuff. It was not, I want to just say, athletic strength building program. So I went through that for several months. So after physical therapy, I was looking to contact Coach Ronay again or Coach Mike because I needed a program. That physical therapy that I went through was not the same as I got with Coach Ronay. It just wasn't. Um, so at the time, I was following somebody on social media, Dr. Wesley Wang, and he is like the ACL guy. And a lot of the stuff that a lot of his videos were a lot of the stuff that I did with Coach Mike. So I saw this as an opportunity to, maybe I can learn a little bit more here. And if it doesn't work, I can always reach back out to Coach Ronay and Coach Mike again. So I hooked up with Doc Wes in November of 2019. So that was about 5 months after my second surgery, and we had about an hour video call. He gave me a program, and I got busy. And the first program was oh yeah, this is what we're supposed to be doing. He's trying to kick my ass. Yep, this is the guy. So we continued that on for maybe month 6, 5, 6, and 7, and I would work a couple other programs in. And I asked him, I said, "Hey man, have you got, this 3-day a week program stuff? And this ain't cutting it. What do you got for these other 3 days?" And then he recommended Coach Wes. So I got Doc Wes and I got Coach Wes. Coach Wes Dunning, his big basketball guy. He did my upper body and core and all the other things. And what I can really recommend to everybody is, if you have exercises that you hate to be doing, those are the ones you need to be doing. If you have a strength coach or it's like, well, I don't like that, or I don't want to do that, and they modify the plan for you to help your feelings where you don't like to do it, well, you got to change your attitude. All right, you need to do the stuff that they pretty much tell you. And if you have pain, I always had some discomfort in my patella tendon pretty much the first year on each of them. I'd be very careful how I describe that to them, because if you got any pain, I was, yeah, I got a little pain. Then they're like, whoa, okay, we need to do something else. And I'm like, no, I can work through that. I can work with that discomfort. So that's one thing that after a while, when they ask about pain, I'm like, nah, I ain't got no pain. Meanwhile, yeah, I had some pain or discomfort. That patellar tendon area was always sending messages back to the brain that, hey man, this ain't cool. But anyway, you have to be able to tolerate a little bit of discomfort out there. But anyway, working with Coach Wes and Doc Wes was incredible. And it was remote, and that was right before the whole world was forced to go with remote. I was really lucky timing wise with that. And Coach West says, well, even I think he credits me. He says, well, you were the first guy. He was kind of the first one for him. And he had all these he had this great app. You'd watch a video of the exercise, and then you do the video. Myself, I need stuff like that. When I work out, I don't want to think about what I have to do. I mean, I need to do 10 of these and 6 of these and 4 of these, and I need to superset them. And it's just, that's how narrow my focus is. I just need to be concerned with form and how much weight I use. And having them remotely was incredible. But if it's your first go around and you haven't done a lot of stuff weightlifting, I would not recommend doing remote stuff. You got to be in there with somebody. I had so much training from Coach Mike and Coach Ronai that I could use everything I learned from them and apply it to the remote training from Coach Wes and Doc Wes. So that really worked out great. There's only so much you can do with remote training. There's so much they can do with me remote training, and it's difficult for them because they've got to go on what I tell them and how I tell them, how they kind of perceive that. So, but we were on the same page. Coach West and Doc West, we accomplished a tremendous amount. So that was about, let's see, 6, 8, 9 months in, and it just wasn't even worth to try skiing that year, of course, because of what had happened to the world at the time. But it wasn't worth it to try to come back. I needed to continue building strength. I needed to continue getting stronger. And I continued with them for quite a long time. And in March of 2020, since I did a Olympic distance triathlon for the left knee, well, now we got to try the half distance triathlon for the right. So I bought another plan from Training Peaks. This was a heart rate monitor one. You can get ones with like power meter where you hook to the pedals. It shows pedals. I hear that one's even better. But I had a heart rate monitor that I wore. I got a Garmin 935 watch. I trained for 6 months. And I did that on top of my ACL stuff. I did my ACL stuff with Doc Wes. I did upper body and core with Coach Wes. And then I had a training plan. I had a training coach remotely if I needed to for triathlon. So I was all about it March through September. And I was in Florida. So I was lucky. The gyms didn't close. It was tough. The race actually got canceled. But I have access to a lake. I'm lucky to have access to a lake. And come September, I was doing that race if I had to do it by myself. I had a cousin help me with the swim. I had my parents help me. They were kind of like the transition people. They put me on the bike and they parked their van so I could run. And that was a really, really big accomplishment for me. That was a great day. And believe it or not, that was the best to that point my knees had ever felt because of how much they were used. Everything else hurt on my body. Every muscle, I was just cooked. But my knees felt incredible at that point, which was surprising. Time-wise, I was shooting to do an average time for my age, but, without being in a pack and it wasn't really the full maybe triathlon experience. Some would say it was for me. I accomplished all my goals. But looking back, a half triathlon was probably a little bit too much. It changes your body, in my opinion. Skier bodies and triathlon bodies are really not the same. Triathletes, the elite ones anyways, are really long and lean. Skiers are kind of more thicker and wider, I guess, as I would say. So I would love to do a full distance triathlon at some point in time. I'd love to do full Ironman, but I'd probably need at least a year to train for that, and I'm not giving up a ski season for triathlon. Olympic distance, I highly recommend mixing that in if you can. The swimming, the biking, the running is all really good. So I returned to the 2021 season on December 16th, 2020, and I started it off. I had a lot more strength built up because it was more than a year since the right tear, but still I had 2 knees to think about. The left knee was still fairly new, not as new as the right knee. So I started back at Hunter And it doesn't look like I skinned up the first day here. My ski log, I keep a ski log. I skinned up. It looks like every other time after that. I used that same thing that helped me last time, is getting there early, skinning up, getting your knees good and warm, and then starting your ski day. I can't recommend that enough. Uh, the 2021 season, I only skied 15 days that season. Final day was May 1st. It felt good to ski that day. I skied my 7M, my old mogul skis I love very much. It was the first time I skied without a brace on either ski. I only skied 3 runs, but what I wrote in my ski log is finally made it through a season without injury. Only 3 runs, but were good ones. Superstar bumps on 5/1/21. First time skiing in May. Had more in the tank, but saving it for next season. Skied the 7Ms, left the 4Ms in the car. Great day, great season. So the 4Ms were the skis I tore my right ACL. That was the last time I wore them. I didn't take them out for that season. And I don't know. After skiing some of the longer stuff when I was a kid, I'd ski like a 205, and then I'd hop on a 195 and feel like I had a short ski. And then if I really wanted to take it to another level, you put the 180s on, and it feels like you didn't have skis on after skiing the bigger skis. They're just so light and quick and nimble. But that was a long time ago. But the main point I could say is be conservative. Protect yourself. You're your best friend and you're your worst enemy. When you're feeling a little off, or you're feeling like, shut it down. Take it to the car. It's always great to be looking back up at the mountain when your body's in one piece, when you're not hurt or injured, having been through it like I have been through it 2 times. ACL recovery was long. It's still, in my opinion, it's still going on for me. And that's why I made that edit of the 21-22 season. That's why it felt so good to complete that season. 28 days was incredible for me. And, I'd say probably one of the highlights was returning to outer limits on I think that was like day 27 or 26. And when you pull up the access road on Killington, in Killington, you come around the corner and bang, there's Superstar. And as somebody that likes to ski bumps, oh wow, okay, we got a couple bumps there. Some days you come around the corner and it's flat, and you want to ski bumps. It's like, man, guys in the damn groomers. I understand you got to groom it all the time for most everybody else, but leave a little something for the bump people. But luckily, that last closing weekend on Outer Limits, I drove in, I looked at Superstar, and I says, well, Outer Limits is supposed to be open. Let me ease over to Outer Limits, so let me see what's going on. So I ease over to Outer Limits, and when you approach a mogul hill and you see it in its the way it's supposed to be, bumped up, it's just like, oh man, here we go. This is what I came for. And to be honest, I was nervous putting my boots on. I was shaking putting my boots on, looking up at that trail. Now, I had been through 2 ACL recoveries. I had spent tremendous amount in the time in the gym. I had done 2 triathlons. I had skinned up loads of places. I had done some backcountry skiing. I was in good shape. All right, I should have been more ready for this mentally than I was. But that's a big thing that we need to overcome too. Is we got to train this to, hey dude, everything's okay, you're gonna be just fine. So I get booted up, I get up the mountain, I got the 4Ms on. I hadn't had the 4Ms on since I tore my right ACL. And there aren't a lot of people that really even know what that ski is, but there was a certain crowd there that they knew what that ski was. And this is a ski I've had since I was, I don't know, in the late 80s, 90s. And it was a really good mogul ski. And it was attracting a lot of attention. But the first run down, I got about halfway down, and I was going to take it to the car. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't ski bumps anymore. Maybe it's time to walk away from it. And I was struggling. But then I realized when I was younger, I did a lot of ski hopping. I'd go to the mountain with like 3-4 pairs of skis, and I'd go, all right, I'd check the whole mountain out, and then I'd pick a pair of skis I wanted to ski on for the day, for the rest of the day. And to me, going from ski to ski to ski, there's always a sweet spot, and sometimes it'd take me a couple days to really find where that ski likes to operate. Your body position stuff would be you'd have to be different to ski it. So I was like, all right, well, I got to the bottom. I kind of looked back up. I did a lot of looking up at outer limits that day, and I said, well, let me make another run. And then I started to warm up, and I started to get better and better and better. And I made 8 runs that day, and my last run ended with a double E into a bump. I popped out of both skis, and just because I was flat cooked, and I banged my knee on the tip of my ski. That's how slow I was going. And it just, anytime you hit your knee going forward, if you had surgery on, it's just immediately like, oh, I mean, it's like your heart stops. So I eased it down, and I got in the car, and luckily it was just a bump. It was really not that big a deal. And actually that day I'd met somebody named Iggy Mon. I'd seen him stuff on social media, you know, he's got great stuff on social media, you know, pictures and mogul stuff, and he does a lot of other things too, and he made this great video, and somehow I made it in there. So I'll try to put that in the description, how to get to that. If you want to check that out, I'm the guy in the orange pants. But if you've made it this long in the video, thank you for watching. I hope I've shared some good information with you about some of the stuff where I've had successes, some of the people who have helped me get there. I'll try to put all their information in the description too. And if you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to send me one. I'll try to get to as many as I can. But work hard, make good decisions, make safe decisions. Don't be in a rush. Take your time. ACL recovery, it's not easy. It's long, especially if you've had patella tendon grafts like myself. I've heard that's takes kind of one of the longer recoveries. Some of the other ones, the recoveries are a little shorter. My decision going with them, the whole nother story. But having tear both ACLs and return to sport, if I can do it, you can do it. Just keep working hard. I gotta know I'm gonna keep working hard. I don't feel ACL recovery will ever stop for me. My knees are gonna need constant maintenance from here now until I'm gone. They don't like to sit around. They need to move. They need to exercise. It's just something that we sign up for when we get this surgery. But if it allows us to do what we love to do, it is well worth it. So thanks for watching, and hopefully see you on the lift here, chairlift, at a mountain near you.